Welcome back to Almost Grown, and it is 4th of July today in the neighborly universe. Aubrey has been settling into her new apartment and has become pretty good friends with her roommate, Tiara Dottie. And Tiara is currently dating Elias Hammond, their across the hall neighbor. And Elias and Tiara have shown up to the sandbar to hang out with Aubrey, and Elias brought along his brother DeAndre Hammond, who is attracted to Aubrey and is wanting to get to know her. The goal of tonight: have 2 drinks and maybe get a little bit more comfortable and cozy with DeAndre. We'll see how the night goes. Aubrey finds him attractive. He's her usual type, but her usual type can be a bit of a fuckboy, so she's not sure about this. Plus, she still has a job to do because she is a bartender at the sandbar and she needs to make some money because she is no longer being supported by her father, and they literally have $162 in the bank. But DeAndre's persistent, so he pulls her to the side again, so they can get to know each other better. It seems like DeAndre doesn't have much going on. Plus, he may or may not have a soon-to-be baby mama. His milestones are fell in love and smoke tobacco. That doesn't really sound like anything that Aubrey's interested in. So she brushes him off.
Cipolla? Fweezok.
The drinks are flowing tonight. She may not have 2 drinks with DeAndre, but she'll definitely have 2 by herself. Meanwhile, Tiara and Elias are thoroughly enjoying themselves. They haven't even paid attention to the fact that DeAndre just went home. Well, looks like the date may be over because Elias just realized that his wingman abandoned him. Happy hour was a success. Aubrey and Tiara decided that they're going to stay and change into their baby suits and hang out for the rest of the 4th of July celebration at the sandbar. It looks like Chris is home, but he hasn't even come over to say anything to Aubrey, so she's not really sure she should say something to him. And did he just walk past her and completely ignore her? Aubrey's like, so do you think Chris may have seen me flirting with DeAndre? Tara's like, he's been here, so maybe. Aubrey's like, great. It's not like we're together or anything, so he can't be upset. I'll just go over and say something to him. Clear the air or whatever.
Oh, shit.
Did he just curb Aubrey the way that Aubrey just curbed DeAndre? Aubrey's not sure how to feel about this. She'll just, stand here and attempt to play it off like she was just trying to listen to the music. Well, this night couldn't have gotten any worse. So she decides to salvage what's left of it and go for a swim. Tara's like, so what happened with you and Chris? Aubrey's like, I don't know. Men. Tara's like, well, we're missing the fireworks. Aubrey's like, I think I've had enough fireworks for tonight. I think I'll just go home. Plus, I'm drunk. Aubrey's not used to living in these conditions. She went from a luxury apartment to this hellhole full of rats. Tiara's the only saving grace of this place. And she got her a meeting with the orchestra director at the Met today, so she can't complain too much. Tara's like, well, I guess I'll have to call the landlord again to get these rats. It's been a real problem since I've moved in here. This is Mr. Gatto, the creative director of the Met Orchestra. He's the one that Aubrey has to impress in order to get a job with the orchestra. She has been to the Met several times attempting to get a job since she graduated from Britechester, and Mr. Gatto has essentially refused to interview her every time. And the main thing is his issue with basically the way that Aubrey looks. So he's a bit of a snot. And so he's refused to basically listen to Aubrey's talent and hear her play. And he's only talking to her right now because of Tiara, and obviously Tiara's father, who is the national leader. So he's like, go ahead, warm up, impress me. So now that Aubrey is warmed up, she's ready to play, and Tiara's going to accompany her on the piano. So Mr. Gatto is impressed, and he's willing to hire Aubrey, but he has a few conditions because Mr. Gatto is a little tiny snot, like I said before. I don't think you're ready or quite suitable for our main stage yet, Aubrey, but we are starting a kind of outreach program to expand our audience a little bit more, get more people interested in classical music, and we really wanted to go and reach a younger, more urban audience. And so I think you would be really good for that.
Camus. You nabi vero?
Aubrey's like, I don't know what you mean. What do you mean? And how would I be good for that? I mean, little does Mr. Gatto know that Aubrey grew up a rich, spoiled brat. But he's decided in his mind that she would be good for a younger, more urban audience. Tiara's like, didn't you just hear her play? I mean, she's better than me. I think she'd be great as part of our quartet. Gatto's like, no, we already have the quartet. And I think my idea is better. Aubrey's like, so what is your idea exactly? Well, we would start you out on our social media online platform where you would be hosting a podcast, you'd be performing online at times, you'd be performing gigs around the city, but you wouldn't necessarily be performing on our main stage. And, you know, maybe that will come about eventually. Aubrey's like, okay, I guess. Aubrey's like, what an asshole. Aubrey always knew it was going to be difficult for her to break into the hoity-toity world of classical music. But, I mean, people used to give her funny looks when she showed up to this place just to listen with her father. Tiara's like, sorry, Aubrey, I really thought he'd listen to your talent and just automatically put you in the quartet. Aubrey's like, yeah, maybe he would if I looked like you. Tiara's like, what do you mean? Aubrey's like, never mind. But I guess a job is a job, and I'll just have to work my way up. So I guess I'll accept the podcast if I have to. Meanwhile, Tiara is already a quartet member, and she pretty much has done everything for her job. She just has to research musical instruments. So she has decided she's going to take this time to get to know Elias a little bit better. What is Elias on? Clearly you are a terrible and inconsiderate neighbor. You just made a big mistake. I will remember this. Okay. Tiara apologizes for making so much noise, and Elias accepts her apology. She's like, I hope this doesn't change anything between us. I mean, it wasn't like we were trying to annoy you. It's just, you know, I'm a cellist and Aubrey is a violinist and we practice together. Elias is like, don't you have a studio you can practice in? I mean, these walls are too thin for you to be practicing in your apartment. I work in my apartment. I can't deal with all this noise. I need peace and quiet. Tara's like, oh, okay. She's not sure how to feel about this. She's not sure why he's in such a terrible mood. Aubrey decides to get started on this podcast thing. She's not too sure if her dream of playing violin at the Met is ever going to come true. She's not sure that she cares about it so much anymore. Maybe it's not worth it. I mean, Elias is complaining about them making too much noise, and yet he's yelling through these paper-thin walls, and Aubrey cannot concentrate on her podcast. Hi, Aubrey. Thank you for registering your podcast with Plum Pod. Our team is excited to have you on board. We have helped countless Sims like yourself become renowned podcasters. As a valued member, please note that Plum Pod pays its creators $100 for each podcast episode uploaded to our platform. We wish you the best on your podcast journey. So Tiara has decided to do her morning workout. And since he invited himself over here, she has decided to ask Elias to join her. I mean, this man has lost his mind. So much for being quiet. Tiara's doing her best to attempt to flirt with him, but he's too busy doing a workout and yelling at her about being too loud. He is not picking up any of these signals. I'm not too sure how interested Elias is in Tiara. Or maybe he's just mad because her roommate turned down his brother. So far, Aubrey's first day of work has gone relatively well. She's played 8 times. That was pretty easy. Now she has to go discuss interests with some of the customers at the lounge and ask about their careers, have a deep conversation, basically network around and advertise the Met and its performances.
Oh, wait, Bo. Shabni Brifna. Lamina Galpa Watini. Flizza. Nulit. Bouchard.
Aubrey's decided to finish off her day with an impromptu concert for the lucky patrons of this lounge that she has been sent to, just to give them a little bit of a taste of what they would be able to hear at the Met. Oh wow, well, if nothing else, Aubrey got paid well. $1,281 for the day. Alright, well, tonight is the night of the Starlight Charity Ball, and Aubrey's still not too sure if she should go. She decided to wear this orange ball gown, which was styled with bracelets and earrings and her hair up. And Tiara's telling her that she looks beautiful. She's like, are you sure I look okay? I'm not sure if I should go. I mean, my father's probably going to be there. And I'm still not even sure who invited me. Tiara's like, it's probably Chris. His mom throws the event. Aubrey's like, well, that makes it even worse because last time I saw him, he ignored me. Aubrey finds her table in the back of the dining room, but there are no signs of her secret admirer. In fact, the seat next to hers is empty. President Dottie is here tonight, and he seems to have his eye on all of the young ladies. He's like, so I hear you're rooming with my daughter these days. Aubrey's like, oh yeah, it's Tierra and I, we've been getting along great. I think it's a good situation for both of us. She's not sure who any of the rest of these people are. In fact, this party is rather boring and dry. Then she realizes the woman next to her is actually one of her favorite film stars. And she gets a little bit ahead of herself. Apparently Lynn is the caterer for this event, and she is a big fan of Chris Roman. Chris Roman's mother is absolutely appalled that Lynn would ruin her event by taking pictures with her son in the middle of the ballroom. Lauren Adderson decides to complain to her special guest, Giovanni Olivier. Good help is hard to find these days. Well, after Aubrey finally got the autograph she wanted from her favorite movie star, she realized the woman has no personality and they're just sitting there having nothing to talk about. This was a real letdown. She decides to people watch because there are a bunch of royals getting drunk at the bar. This is going to be a huge scandal tomorrow. And she's certain that Chris Roman spotted her. And yet he's continued to ignore her, so she's pretty certain he is not her secret admirer. Lynn has decided to entertain the crowd, not only with her food, but also her singing. And Lauren Adderson is pissed. How dare she ruin her charity event? She's going over there to fire that woman at once, and she'll be lucky if she works in this town again. Of course, she has to make sure she looks beautiful as she struts across the room. Aubrey decides she's going to make the most of this event and make a donation, a small donation, to the charity. They are very appreciative. Aubrey is pretty much done with the night and decides she's going to get a drink from the bar before she leaves. Is this seat taken? No. Aubrey looks over to find Chris sitting next to her. Interesting. He's talking to her now. He's saying, so you look great tonight. Aubrey's like, thanks. I mean, I don't even know why I came here, but I guess it was fun to get dressed up. You look nice too, in the suit. He's like, oh, thanks. I mean, I try. Aubrey's like, well, you succeeded. Chris is like, so are you here alone? Aubrey's like, what does that matter to you if I'm here alone or not? And if you have to know, I was invited, but apparently the guy stood me up. He's like, well, that's too bad for him. I mean, he missed out on seeing how beautiful you look tonight. Aubrey's like, Chris, I mean, you don't need to come over here and keep me company. I'm fine on my own. In fact, I'm about to leave, so, you know, you can do whatever it is that you were doing. I'm not a charity case. If you're feeling charitable, donate to your mother's charity. Chris is like, I don't know what you're talking about. Actually, I wanted to tell you that I'm the one that invited you here. But, you know, I kind of chickened out a little bit. Really, because you ignored me at the bar when I tried to talk to you. Chris is like, well, I thought you were there on a date. I saw you with that guy, and I, you know, just assumed you were with him. Look, I'm sorry I jumped to conclusions. And I'm sorry I didn't meet you at the door like I planned. I messed up. But honestly, being with you makes me want to be so open, so vulnerable. Thank you for making me feel safe enough to share my heart. Well, too bad that's not reciprocated, because I don't feel safe with you anymore at all. You humiliated me by ignoring me in front of everyone at the bar, and now you're trying to tell me you're the one that stood me up at this charity event? He's like, well, let me make it up to you. Let me take you somewhere. We're both ready to go. The only reason I came here in the first place was to give you a romantic evening. Aubrey has declined going out on a date with Chris. Try to get her to know her better romantically. Also, a Sim's mood can change the outcome. Sometimes talking in person is the best option. So I guess Chris is going to try to change her mood by love bombing her with candy and flowers. Apparently he's never met Aubrey because this is not about to work. She's like, thanks for, more flowers and candy. You're really sweet. But I'm calling a car because I'm going home. Alone. Aubrey has declined going out on a date with Chris again. Well, it's going to be a while before Aubrey's car gets here. Chris is like, you sure you don't want to hang? I mean, it doesn't have to be a date. I was just going to go check out Valentino's girlfriend's band. They're performing at a lounge in Oasis Springs tonight. Aubrey's like, oh, yeah, he did invite me to that. I mean, I guess I can ride with you there. I'll just get him to take me home.